Were last Saturday's fights contenders for Fight of the Year? Will Diva Dan bless the desk with his presence? And are the chicks of the cooler taking over? Stay tuned to find out on this episode of The Water Cooler. Welcome to The Water Cooler. I'm Paige Arredondo on the desk with Alex Blau and Nicole Sheeran. We're going to get this show started the best way we know how with Water Cooler Talk. How are you guys feeling today? Alex back on the desk.
Yeah,
it's been a while.
I'm happy to be here, guys. I made the trek. It was long, a little jet
Really
lagged.
far.
Yeah,
We heard
the
you
sideline-
buzzing. Yeah,
the
we heard you
sideline is a
buzzing over
lot
there.
farther than it looks. It's misleading.
We're happy you made it safely. The 2022 NFL Draft is just around the corner. It starts Thursday, April 28th in Las Vegas, Nevada. College football's best are setting their sights on a lifelong dream. Some of the top prospects are fellow Trojans Drake Jackson and Drake London. Guys, if you had to compare these two NFL hopefuls to NFL veterans, who would you equate them to?
Yeah, well, let's start with Drake London. I think it's pretty clear, it's pretty evident. You got a big body receiver who doesn't drop the ball, is great on the perimeter. It's Mike Evans. It's my boy out of Tampa
Of
Bay.
course.
He's
There's
to
no
go.
question.
Hopefully Drake, if he's that lucky, can go 7 seasons with 1,000 yards. But, you know, he's a big guy. Personally, I like the Atlanta Falcons taking him with the 8th overall. You know, they need a wideout. Can't just be the Kyle Pitts show. Can't just be the Marcus Mariota, Cordarrelle Patterson show. They need a true wideout. They got rid of Russell Gage. Calvin Ridley's betting on games. Julio's gone. I don't know who they got.
No, what's cool about Mike Evans, too, is, you know, Drake London played basketball, well, so did Mike Evans in high school. So I feel like
Ooh.
you got that comparison right there. They have hops, mad hops. As a receiver, that's key to catching those catches that a lot of guys can't. So, I mean, you're right. There's no question about a Mike Evans comparison with Drake London. He's going to be snagged up like that, I'm telling you right
I
now.
hope so.
All right, Drake Jackson.
You know, Drake Jackson, it depends when I'm watching him, because some games he absolutely takes over,
Yeah.
and I see a young Hassan Riddick. Other times, he kind of gets lost in the weaves, and I see an old Jadeveon Clowney. And I could see him going either way. I like the Hassan Reddick comparison for right now.
See, I had a struggle with this one a little bit because, like you said, some games I see him one way, some games I see him another. But I kind of instantly thought of Von Miller with Drake Jackson a little bit. I don't know. He's got that quick first step, that strong lateral agility. You know, he's got that. He can sack guys. You know what I mean? He has that physicality. So I automatically thought of Von Miller. But then again, some other games, I don't think of him in that Von Miller light. So
I see that agility, you know, right
Yeah.
off the edge, getting low.
So, Alex, you touched on it, but a follow-up question I have for you two: what are the ideal landing spots for these USC players?
Yeah. So
take
again,
it.
I still think the Atlanta Falcons and Drake London are a match made in heaven. Yes, thank you. Yeah.
All right, I gotta go. Just picture this, okay? Drake London, Patriots. You got Mac Jones at quarterback, young guy. Drake London comes in, also a young receiver. I think that's a dynamic duo that is going to wreak havoc in the NFL.
And you can't forget, if he's on the Patriots, you're putting 2 USC legends, Nelson Aguilar, Drake
Yep.
London, side by. I don't think Mac Jones throws an incompletion
No.
all season if that's
No.
the case.
Fight on.
Right, exactly.
All right, where do you guys see Jackson?
Drake Jackson, the Jets to me are one of the most fascinating teams in this draft, given not only how many picks they have, but that it's Bob Saleh's second year, defensive-minded guy. I think they go corner first. Maybe they take a wideout second, but if they don't take a D lineman within those first top 10 picks, I totally see them taking a Drake Jackson maybe in the second, early third round. If not, maybe Philly with the Hassan Riddick. They just picked him up in free agency. Maybe pair those two, get him trained for when Hassan's ready to call it a career.
Yeah, I mean, I like that. I honestly thought Green Bay for Jackson on this one, just because they released Adarius Smith, the edge. I think that's an immediate spot that Jackson could hop right into. He, like we said, he's explosive. He really fits that mold. I mean, we talked about it a few shows ago, but he's, 250 154 pounds now. He's a big guy.
Big boy.
And I think he's going to fit that spot that Green Bay's looking for perfectly, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, look, Green Bay's defense, hopefully they draft a wideout so Aaron Rodgers stops complaining in the first round. So maybe they go defense second or third.
All right, well, we'll see. Wherever these Trojans end up, they're bound to face a change of scenery. And while we're on the topic of change, it has been exactly 1 week since the excitement of opening day in the MLB. But due to rule changes in the new CBA, the game looks slightly different than it did before. For the 2022 season, the National League will adopt the designated hitter. For the 2023 season, pitch clocks will be used, there will be a ban on defensive shifts, larger bases, and there will be an automatic ball strike zone as soon as 2024. Regarding the postseason, playoffs will expand from 10 to 12 teams, and there will be no man on second base to start extra innings. As Alex mentioned a couple shows back, player uniforms will feature advertising, including patches on jerseys and decals on batting helmets for the first time ever. And the 2023 schedule will finally be more balanced as teams will play at least one series against every opponent in both leagues. What do you guys think about these new rules?
All right. I got to just address the elephant in the room. The DH, get rid of the DH. I think you got to get rid of the DH. I don't like that rule. I'm an old school type person. Like, just let the game be the game. The playmaking of the game is what, to me, makes it interesting. So I'm a person, get rid of the DH. I also really don't like the ban on defensive shifts, personally. I don't know how you feel about it, Alex, but just let them do what they want to do. Let them play how they want to play. Why are you banning a shift when they're shifting because they know the bat? I don't understand that. Like, I don't.
If there's one upside to these new rule changes, I do think it's promoting running up the score a little bit in the games
Yeah,
and
that's fair.
hopefully getting a
Yeah,
little
I don't
more
like watching
excitement.
home runs either. Let's just let the pitchers hit.
Yeah, exactly. But, you know, I'm a little disappointed. I think the MLB executives, whoever they may be, haven't seen what's buzzing with Blau from last week.
Yeah, they
because
obviously
I've
don't
received
watch.
no calls about the jersey
That's
advertisements.
crazy.
It's a little absurd to me.
They should definitely hit you up for a consulting.
It'll be interesting, too, to see if these new rules, you know, up viewership, because I feel like, especially with baseball, it's tough, at least for me, to get really into one game, when in
Yeah,
reality,
it's
one game doesn't really
long.
matter. It's long, and I'm not there till, like, playoffs and all that. Like,
Yeah.
give me to October, you know what I mean? So it's kind of, at least that's me. I know if you're a baseball guru, you feel differently, but it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, the expanded playoff structure may actually give some of the underdogs a chance at ending their playoff droughts. But I'm curious to hear your guys' takes on early season World Series prediction. Who's taking home the Commissioner's Trophy?
You want to take this one first?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty clear to me. It's only been about 6 games, but I'm sold. I think this Tampa Bay Rays team is
Shocker.
the best club we've seen since the old days of the great Bambino. You know what I mean? This Rays team, first off, you can't ignore cosmic signs. And in the game against the A's, I believe it was 2 days ago, Brett Phillips was up to bat, and his biggest fan, 8-year-old Chloe Grimes, battling cancer, was being interviewed about her love for Brett Phillips. What does he do? Smacks it out of the park, mid-interview. She's crying, he's crying, I'm crying. I don't know what's going on. You can't ignore those signs.
I do have a question for you, though.
Sure.
Did you happen to see the A's their matchup with the A's today?
I did see their matchup with the A's today.
And they let up a little league home run.
Look,
That's
4-2,
embarrassing. It's
embarrassing.
I can live with 4-2. Okay, it's the first week. There's like 2 more years until the
All
World
right.
Series.
All right,
Who do you have, Nicole?
Who do you
Well,
have?
you know, I got to stick with my LA on this one. I'm going Dodgers. Here's why, guys. They have a stacked roster. It's an all-star roster. What? Freddie Freeman from the Braves. All right, Kershaw's coming back.
Mookie
That's
Betts.
Mookie Betts. Thank you, Paige. That's a touchy subject with Kershaw. We saw him almost throw a perfect game. We're not going to get into that right now.
Ooh.
All right.
But
Hold.
he is performing well. Chris Taylor, Cody Bellinger, Justin Turner, Walker. I mean, I could go on
Stacked.
and on and on and on and on.
Stacked.
It's stacked. They're going to win the World Series. You heard it here first.
All right, yep, you heard it here first. The UFC returned to Jacksonville, Florida Saturday with some high-octane fight action. Each of the 3 highest-billed fights of the main card delivered in answering key questions about the competing fighters. The third fight of the main card featured number 2 ranked welterweight Gilbert Burns and number 11 undefeated upstart Khamzat Chimaev. Round 1 was punctuated by a stiff jab from Chimaev that put Burns down in the final minute and confirmed his victory. But Burns shook it off, finding success in round 2, where he stunned and dropped Chimaev with a pair of overhand lefts. Entering the third frame, the fighters were battered, bloodied, and fatigued. It was all tied up. Chimaev continued to apply the pressure and display crisp, clean boxing technique. His win by split decision proved that he is legit and he does belong up there with the best of the welterweights. The co-main event had a tough act to follow, but it certainly delivered. The history between Aljamain Sterling and Peter Yan has been full of bad blood. In March 2021, Sterling claimed the belt after then-champ Yan struck him with an illegal knee. Sterling's recent neck surgery postponed their matchup, so this rematch was well overdue. Round 1 was a pretty even fight, but in the second and third rounds, Sterling identified Yan's weakness and took advantage. He brought Yan to the canvas and held him in body triangles for a majority of both rounds. However, in round 4 and 5, Yan's defense improved, allowing him to widen the margin between his and Sterling's striking games. The judges handed Sterling a split decision victory, validating his rightful ownership of the bantamweight title. The main event of the evening pitted two legendary featherweights against one another for a shot at UFC gold. Champion Alexander Volkanovski entered the octagon on a 20-fight winning streak. His opponent was the Korean Zombie, in for Max Holloway, who had to withdraw due to injury. Going into the fight, Volkanovski was overall the dominant fighter, and this was evident in each round. At the end of the third round, Volkanovski knocked Jung to the floor following a powerful combination. And although Jung tried to stick it out, his stumbling in the fourth round forced referee Herb Dean to call the fight in favor of the champ. This one-sided fight left no doubts that Volkanovski is in fact one of the greatest fighters in the world. Mixed martial arts are not only dangerous, but incredibly difficult. One of our crew members took on the challenge of mastering Taekwondo. Check it out.
After UFC 273, we at the Water Cooler decided to try our hand at martial arts and join the USC Taekwondo Club. I was a little scared, so I enlisted the help of my other 409 crew member, Zach. We started off with some stretching, then moved on to high kicks.
Okay, so I go knee up, and then kick. Now do that a little harder. Okay, go. Nice.
Basically up front. They thought I was so good that we moved on to roundhouse kicks.
So knee up first.
Okay.
And then turn. And then kick. Yes. Now put it together a little faster. Nice.
Take that! All right, ready?
Faster. Kick.
They then wanted me to try my hand at sparring, but that's where I drew the line and enlisted Zach instead.
I'm sorry.
Even after killing it in the gym, I still have a long way to go before competing for the belt in UFC. But now, back to Alex on the sideline.
Dan Snyder. Few say he's a man of integrity, even less say he's a man of his word. Thank God that's not true. On Tuesday, the Federal Oversight Commission publicly requested an investigation into Snyder for potentially unlawful business practices. These allegations, which include ripping off fans and cheating fellow NFL owners out of millions in shared revenue, are no joke. But then again, the last 2 decades have been chock full with serious allegations against Snyder. And it all starts in 1999, when Dan bought the NFL franchise using profits from the sale of his company that was scamming Floridians. But the NFL was no stranger to controversy, and conflict that didn't directly affect the league from before Snyder brought the team wasn't going to be a problem. So Snyder began pushing boundaries, testing to find the limit until he would be reprimanded for his actions. In 2006, Snyder treated Washington fans to exclusive concession items at FedEx Field. 5-ounce royal blue bags of peanuts adorned with the Independence Airline logo. The problem? Independence Air went under a year earlier. Snyder got the nuts on discount since the supplier had an excess from before the airline tanked. This raised eyebrows, especially with the Peanut Council, and yes, there's really a Peanut Council, who placed the shelf life of foil bag out-of-shell peanuts at about 3 months. When the NFL didn't bat an eye, Snyder merely pinned it on a lackey below him and terminated the scapegoat. Thus, the Snyder cycle was created. Swindle fans, deny responsibility, and blame subordinates. In 2009, Washington, under Snyder's orders, jacked up the prices of their season tickets. Then they sued lifelong season ticket holders who could no longer afford to pay the unreasonably high seat licenses, while simultaneously perpetuating fake waiting lists for people trying to become season ticket holders. And in 2015, he ran back one of his previous shams, selling expired beer from the 2014 World Cup. The nerve. This grift wasn't just un-American, it was lazy. After years of operating with no oversight, it was no surprise to discover that the workplace under Snyder's reign was creepy, but the extent was appalling. In 2013, a 2013 trip to Costa Rica, where Snyder used the disguise of the NFL Shield to have cheerleaders escort a group of all-male FedEx Field suite holders and team sponsors, was not a great look. Yet still, all of this was tolerated by not only fellow NFL owners, but the NFL itself. And now their money's involved, the NFL is ready to put its foot down. And you know what? I think there needs to be an investigation into Snyder's accounting. Because if the newest allegations against Snyder are true, it confirms two things. One, Goodell and the NFL are just as terrible at fiscal oversight as they are at sexual harassment oversight. And two, the NFL does not care about its female fans, nor the women who work within it. With them, it doesn't take 15 former employees claiming sexual harassment to take down 2 decades of misogyny, just one revenue sharing scheme. We got a lot of great water cooler when we get back, so stick with us.
Feeling overwhelmed by school? Homework assignments keep piling up? Crippled by existential despair? Caffeine not cutting it? Well, then I have a solution for you. Procrastination.
Wow, so how does it work?
Simply take your work and stop doing it. Play video games. Go on your phone. Endless possibilities.
Boy, howdy, do I feel relaxed. Thanks, procrastination.
You love Uber Eats, the #1 app for getting your favorite local and chain foods delivered right to your door. Uber Eats is proud to present Uber Feeds. We want to go all the way for our customers, which is why we will have Uber Feeds delivery drivers literally feed your meal to you. Safety is our #1 priority, which is why every driver is vaccinated. Better yet, download now and get a delivery and feeding absolutely free. Uber Feeds, stuffed in more ways than one.
Welcome back to the Water Cooler. My name is Daniel Halpern. Alongside me, Skylar Treppel, Reagan Griffin Jr. And we got a lot to talk about today. We've talked about a lot of greats already. We talked in the beginning, of course, Paige mentioned Alexander the Great Volkanovski. Alex mentioned the Great Bambino. And we have our own great here on the cooler, the Great Debate. Roll the bump. Well, it's been a while since I made it out onto the desk, but sometimes a debate is just so great that I can't hang back in the control room, and I just got to get out here with you guys. With the regular season of the NBA wrapping up, there's some things that we now know for sure, like that the Lakers suck, but some discussions haven't been put to rest yet, mainly the MVP debate. There are no ifs, ands, or buts about it. The race is down to just 3, Joel Embiid, Giannis Antetokounmpo, and the reigning MVP, my Nikola Jokic. Let's start with Skylar and the man who the media prophets seemed to declare the MVP before the season even begun. Skylar, what do you got for me?
Definitely. You know, look, I'm going to start off by saying Jokic will likely win the MVP based on everything, how the media does it, and this is a heavyweight fight right here. All these guys deserve it, but I am going to make the case for Joel Embiid.
Great way to start an argument.
Jokic has, Jokic has some, because I agree that it's...
Let's hear about Embiid. Let's hear about Embiid.
Yeah. I agree about Jokic. But with Embiid, okay, he has the highest points per minute of all time, beating out Michael Jordan this season, and he's the first center to lead the NBA in scoring. But it's not really numbers where he wins so much as narrative, which the MVP is really based on. Joel Embiid is the process. He's stuck around, he rebuilt, he's never won it before, and he's dominating the league in a way that we haven't seen since Shaq. But with that fadeaway jump shot and his offensive skill set, I think he's one of the most dominant players we've ever seen, and he deserves the MVP for everything he did without Ben Simmons and with Tyrese Maxey coming in, and he kept them stable. It's Joel Embiid.
Well, hey, narrative schmarative. Let's hear about who you say is the greatest player in the world, a guy up from Milwaukee, the Greek Freak.
Let me tell y'all something, man. Giannis is starting to suffer from what I'm going to call LeBron James syndrome. Y'all remember that stretch of seasons where it was like LeBron James is the MVP, but we can't give it to him every year. That would just get boring. Giannis is pretty much there right now. Year in, year out, he is the most dominant player on the floor, but we can't give it to him every year. 3 years ago, he won the MVP. The following year, he won it again because he got even better. Last year, he got even better, as evidenced by the playoff run, but we can't give it to him every year, right? So let's give it to Jokic. This year, he got even better. So if we're going on who's the best player in the NBA, it's Giannis year in and year out. But y'all just don't want to give my guy the MVP because y'all want to have y'all narratives. Y'all want to have y'all numbers with Jokic. But if we say who is the best player on the court in the NBA, it's Giannis Antetokounmpo, hands down. That, to me, is the most valuable player.
Well,
Giannis, man.
Hey, he might be the best physical player in the world. He can do things that no one in NBA history has ever done. But did he put it all out there this year? And I would say, yeah, he had the third highest PER of all time, I believe. But you know who had the #1 most efficient season in NBA history? A guy from Sombor, Serbia.
Here you go with the analytics. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, you guys haven't seen me out
What
here.
does the
I'm a
MVP
big
award
analytics
mean?
guy. I
That's
have
what
my
this is all
color-coded
about.
stats all ready to go. And let's be honest, Embiid had the most points per game in a season. Also, Giannis had higher points per game. But then when you really bring it all together, well, who had more assists that generates more points? Jokic did. Who had more rebounds than both of them? Jokic did. Just about every single possible stat you can think of, Nikola Jokic, my guy, the Joker, beat you all in. And hey, I know that. So here, I'm very happy you brought up
holding
wins.
the chip and June?
No. I'm
That's
happy
the
you guys
most
brought up
important
wins.
stat.
So let's go here. Your guys' teams, or your guys as well, the people who you're defending, they both had 51 wins. The Nuggets, 48. 3 wins. It's not breaking or anything like that.
Western Conference as well.
So you talk about a later Western Conference. Let's just talk about the NBA as a whole. Last year, the Nuggets were a 3 seed. Nikola Jokic brought them to the 3 seed.
Yes.
Yeah.
Guess how many wins they had last year?
How many?
47. One less than this year.
Yeah.
The top of the NBA is better than it has ever been. And let's just talk about how Jokic has transcended what should be physically possible for a player.
But one thing I want to...
No. I got to get one more thing in here first, and then you can have all at it. Both the teams had 51 wins. Jokic on the court, the Nuggets were a 62-win team. That's 2 less than the Suns. Without him, 3 worse than the Rockets, as good as a 17-win team. You have Embiid and Giannis. Both of them are 28 and 24 games. The difference, in terms of most valuable, there is no such thing as more valuable than somebody who has a 45-win difference on and off the court.
I hear you so much, but if we're going based on precedent, we had this exact same discussion last season when it came to Stephen Curry, and I was told he couldn't win the MVP because his team wasn't good enough.
And this year it's different, which brings to light what does the MVP award mean? How much should it mean to a player's legacy when it changes every year? These are 3 heavyweights right here. It's which of them is holding the trophy in June? Who makes it the farther? That's what impresses me the most. These guys are all 3 heavyweights. Jokic will probably take it though.
Hey, I want to still talk about MVP, man, because like I said, when it comes to what Jokic's value was to his team, I see you and I hear you. But the fact of the matter is, like I said, last year Curry couldn't win because his team wasn't good enough. You guys are a 6 seed in a Western Conference that is as weak as we've ever seen it. That's why I cannot give. If I couldn't give it to Curry last year, I can't give it to Jokic this year.
Hey, you want to talk about weak conferences? Yeah. This is the first time in years where there hasn't been a team, barring what happens in the play-in, all the teams are above 500. I think both the tops are great. But hey, that's all the time we have for Skylar. We can discuss the rest of this later. I know there's much more to talk about here. But why listen to us? Everyone hears us talk all the time. And as great as I love to hear you guys, there's a group of people who I think deserve and who the viewers really want to listen to. And that, of course, is the Chicks of the Cooler. Guys, take it away.
Welcome to the Chicks of the Cooler. I'm Paige Redondo, chilling with Nicole Sheeran and Anisha Banerjee, and we've been fighting for this segment all semester. So Ben Simmons took his spot on the bench Tuesday night, but that did not stop him from making headlines. His style and green lambskin set got us thinking, who's got the best and worst outfits in sports? Shall we talk, ladies?
Please.
Okay, so we're gonna start with the best fits. Here is my pick. We have Chase Claypool. He produces fire fits week after week, and if you take a look at this one, it's a custom Nike set. We have his nameplate, we have Claypool, we have a Steelers logo and some fire shoes. I mean, and this is his travel fit. Like, just hopping on the plane, no biggie.
Also, look at the color coordination.
I love that.
I
Yeah.
love it. It's
Yeah.
fire.
All right,
Love
moving
the
on.
custom-made fit.
Nicole.
All right, guys, you know I'm a Joe Burrow fan. He's ice cold, and he's especially ice cold in this fit. I mean, the glasses, the jacket, the chain, Joe Burrow with his number. If I saw him walking around, I would say that guy has incredible swag. There's no argument with that.
Absolutely.
Like, I want to be that cool.
I do feel like Nicole loves Joe Burrow so much that he could be wearing anything or nothing, and he would still make it up on the
That's
screen.
it. He could be wearing a garbage bag. Yeah.
All right, Anisha.
All right, mine has to be a little unusual. This is Nate Burleson. He is a journalist, a sports journalist, former football player, but host of CBS Mornings. Always fitted every morning. I mean, look at this. He paired flowers with plaid, and he's wearing purple.
That's hard to
And
do.
the glasses match the shoes. I don't think that's beautiful.
Absolutely. Setting the standard for journalists.
Yes.
All right, now on to the worst.
Oh
This
my
is
God.
mine, Cam Newton, everyone. In this fit, he looks privileged AF, and that's exactly what he is. Maybe he should learn how to cook, and maybe he should learn how to keep his mouth shut.
Okay,
Yes,
let me
please.
on. The shoes. The shoes.
Yes.
All right,
God.
let's
Next
do these
up.
quickly.
Well, yeah, there he is. There he is. Guys, when I first saw this, I was like, listen, we are not Britney Spears and Justin Timberlake era right now. We're not going for the jean fit right now, LeBron. Your team was not good this year, and this fit is simply not it. So, move on. This is trash.
I can't look at
Horrible.
All right.
It hurts my
Rebecca.
eyes.
Oh my gosh, I can't even look at this. This gives me like my failed 7th grade tie-dye project.
Oh, yeah.
And
I don't know
like,
what-
he's entering a blizzard.
Yeah, I don't
like,
know what he's doing, Kyle Kuzma. Like, what's going on here?
Right.
Like, it's just bad overall. I don't know how he walked out.
Also,
of the
he
house
like doesn't
that.
have a neck. Like, what's going on?
He
I don't like
doesn't.
that.
He
All right,
really
yeah, proportions are off here. Moving on, so we have a collective
Oh, okay.
best here.
Can we just get a round of applause
Yeah,
for
a
her?
round of applause for Taya Cooper. She's a baddie. Like, this
Yeah.
monochrome fit is too fire with the roses. Like, this,
Her
this is amazing.
shades, like everything.
And women are superior. So we thought that in order to do this segment, we had to dress the part. Nicole and I didn't plan that we would look a little patriotic here,
Right.
but
It's
I
not
feel
the
like
4th of July.
I feel
but-
like for our final memos, we should stand up and show off our fits.
Yeah.
So I have a pin here that my friend made that kind of resembles the chain that Joe Burrow was repping. Nicole has her signature colored blazer.
Yes. Also very Georgia-esque.
Leather,
Georgia-esque.
too, leather.
Leather. Yes, thank you.
And Anisha stays classy and sophisticated as always. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you right back here next week.